10,000. I mean, it's just for 3 months. And
He's mocking Jack supporters? I don't understand what he's talking about.
So in that case, we won't be maximized. I think the original was 25, so we're going to be using less than half of that. Yeah, so there's an amendment, so for this I would need a second.
Right, well, I think what you need to do is ask if the maker of the original motion is willing to amend his motion. If he's not willing to amend his motion, then we will take that motion.
Okay, so Cristian Hernandez attacks Jack supporters. Well, guess what? There's more of them here, so deal with it. Microphone.
Wait.
My question is, the $5,000 threshold is within the city manager's purview to do any contract without council approval. So my question is, why is it coming up now?
Because this is for the new fiscal year,
2017-2018. So it's already been allocated 5,000. So we just
budget, correct.
So we just allocated 5,400. So it'll be an additional 5,000.
No, it's already been allocated.
If I amend my motion to $10,000.
It would still come.
How about zero?
$1,000 appropriation levels in the council budget.
What was that total?
It was $20,000 under the council budget for public relations. So you basically use half of it now, so it wouldn't be a drop in the amount of funding that we have in the reserve.
Vice Mayor Hernandez, I think I'm going to keep my motion just because there's going to be a process, and that's going to be completed in 2 months. So within that 2 months, there's going to be already an RFP, and we will have more monetary to use for the remainder of the year. So I'm going to keep my motion.
We're recommending 3 months.
These guys are dumping big money on media relations because they're a bunch of corrupt nicks.
We expect to bring something back to you guys August or September.
How about firing them all?
Okay, so
Miguel, where are you?
You negated it, so I'll make a motion to substitute for 10,000. Do I have a second?
Actually, you have to vote on the motion.
If there's a substitute, doesn't the substitute motion take president?
Boy, these guys are clowns.
Do you take roll call before the original?
Right.
Okay, great. So with that, then we'll first take appetite for discussion.
Appetite.
I think procedurally we need to vote on the motion first, and then we move into discussion. Well,
What?
Oh, it's been
Yes,
seconded.
it's been
I didn't
seconded.
hear the second. Yes.
Speak up.
Well, I'd like to discuss it.
Okay, so it's correct.
So I will be opposing this motion, and I've got a number of important observations. First of all, I want to make it very clear.
That's for my good friend Miguel.
The reason why this city council is so keen on public relations is because they have created a perpetual pandemonium in this city with their special pet projects around Donald Trump and Sanctuary City and other issues that have absolutely nothing to do with the city of Cudahy. I've explained this on a number of occasions before, that the authority over policing relationship with the immigrant community rests entirely with the County of Los Angeles, which has authority exclusively over the LA County Sheriff's Department.
And in the meantime,
however, what the council decided to do to cover up a lot of their pet projects and shift the spotlight away from their activities behind closed sessions and behind closed doors and at special meetings like this one that are scheduled at the last minute, was to create a diversion. That diversion has gotten completely out of control thanks to their efforts. They have effectively invited the pandemonium that we're seeing now escalate to very troubling levels.
exactly.
None of the individuals that have been coming to this city to address those very specific issues have anything to do with me. I am focused exclusively on the issues related to the well-being of this community and the issues that are pertinent to the city of Cudahy and within the purview of the city of Cudahy. But regrettably, the pet project of the council has now gotten so out of control that they're asking for a public relations cover. And a lot of that public relations, by the way, doesn't have to do with covering the city's reputation. It has to do with covering their own reputation. And I'll give you an example. There was an article in the Sacramento Bee a few weeks ago where our public relations representative, who's present here today, actually chimed in and is quoted in the paper defending individual council members. So I have concern about engaging with public funds, a public relations firm to defend individual members of the council. That's not appropriate. Secondly, I don't know why issuing a press release is something that existing staff cannot do. It's not difficult, it's not rocket science. Why can't the city manager, who makes $250,000 in compensation, draft a public press release?
Good
Why
question.
do we have to pay somebody $25,000 to do that? And then finally, I think in the interest of fairness and disclosure, we should recognize that the public relations firm, Milagro Media Services, has actually contributed campaign donations to members of the city council. They decided to get involved in Cudahy politics.
Corruptos.
And I think that that needs to be disclosed in the interest of fairness and full disclosure.
Wow. That's called corruption.
Vice Mayor Hernandez, I'd like to amend my motion.
Microphone.
To amend my motion to do
Microphone.
6 months for $10,000, and then I'll provide staff with ample time. So for the next following year, we'll have a game plan RFQ that have already gone out. New services will be January 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2018. So my motion would be 6 months for $10,000. Since the total budget is $20,000, it's half for the first 6 months, and then the other half for the following 6 months.
Is that amendment to a second? So there's a second. Anybody wish to continue discussing the motion? Okay, I will actually discuss it.
Well, to be fair, there is now a new motion. So what I discussed had to do with the original motion.
Correct. We
That's
feel
right.
5,000, not 25,000. Just so you stand correctly.
So
But this one,
so now
you will have 3
I
minutes.
need an opportunity to discuss.
Again, you're speaking out of order.
That's because you
No,
guys are
I'm
out.
speaking with a point of order to get
You didn't-
procedural clarification.
Okay, so you have to make the point of order.
Point of order, I would like procedural clarification on whether I will have an opportunity to discuss the second motion,
Okay.
which was not the scope of my original commentary based on the original motion by Councilmember Sanchez.
Okay, so I heard your point of order, and of course, since it's part of the process, you will get your 3 minutes. But, Mr. City Clerk, if you please make another note, again, not following the rules of rules of order.
Robert, he
Just
doesn't even know what he's
make note,
talking
and then
about.
also, there's a warning over there for Patricia, and Marcos Rodriguez as well. So, thank you.
So again, I want to just emphasize 3 important points. Again, number one, this media relations endeavor is something that was completely unnecessary, but is the result now of a pandemonium in the city that they have created. And so we're paying for their mistakes. That is what this council is asking of the taxpayers, to spend their money, to spend your money, because it's your money. The budget is with respect to the taxpayers' money, not their money. But they're using that money to enhance their own reputation and promote themselves
They
and
have no reputation.
protect their image. And I have a problem with that. I don't think we should be using taxpayer funds to protect the image of any councilman.
The council member's
Why can't
name
they
is
use
Jack
their own
Guerrero.
campaign contributions to
Oh.
protect their own image?
Right.
The second important point, again, is that I don't think the scope of services makes a very clear demarcation between public relations on behalf of the city and public relations on behalf of individual council members.
Jack Guerrero
And I
is
saw
the
an
good guy.
example just a few weeks ago in the
He's the
Sacramento
other one
meeting
asking
where
questions.
the representative of the public relations firm spoke very favorably about individual council members. And I just think that that's going beyond the acceptable scope of a public relations
sounds like a public
engagement
integrity issue.
ostensibly reserved for the benefit of the city. So if we're going to proceed, I think that those demarcations need to be very explicit, and the scope needs to be very precise, so that public relations is for the benefit of the city and not for the benefit of these individual members. And then finally, well, a few other quick points here. I'm not so sure we need to spend $25,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 on a service that a member of staff can perform as part of their current role. It's not complicated to issue a press release. It's a very simple process. Finally, again, in the interest of full disclosure, and this is for the people to decide whether this is a conflict or not. You know, when the firm of Milagro Strategy Group is actively engaged in Cudahy politics, as a contributor to the campaign of a candidate.
Wow.
Just a few months ago, this is fully disclosed. It's part of the 460s. Now, I'm not casting judgment on that, but I think the people have a right to know that the organization that is now asking for a contract was actively involved in Cudahy politics as a contributor to Mayor Christopher Garcia. And so Christopher Garcia is the one that's asking for a raise now in the proposed contract.
Whoa.
It just needs to be disclosed.
Whoa, corrupt. Conflict of interest. Send it to the DA's office.
So, any appetite to discuss the motion? Okay. Any appetite? Okay. Actually, I do have something to say, and you know what? And I don't believe that this is our pet project. I think that the city of Cudahy being a sanctuary city is not a pet project. It's a human rights issue. These are rights that all of our residents deserve. You know, we're in the business of protecting all of our residents, making sure that the safety of all of our residents is respected. Each and every single community member has the right to life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. This is not a pet project. And this is a fact. Sanctuary status has increased public safety. There's a direct correlation, okay, between a sanctuary city and a safe city. Statistics across the board state that.
Are you confused?
How? That's your second warning. Please stop my time. Mr. Deputy, please go ahead and escort the lady out. Thank you. And I'll continue when Carmen, that's her second warning. I'm sorry?
Uh-oh.
I can order.
Sí, me voy, pero me voy con gusto, corrupto.
Exacto.
¿Qué te crees tú? Que estabas callando allá y tú eres igual cuando le estás diciendo cosas allá y estás grabado también.
It's like you're no way equal to Jack.
Che pendejo.
You can also just keep note of who has been ejected from the union. That we very appreciate.
They pick on an old woman. Shameful.
Cállame, pendeja. Ballena. Ven, cállame.
Selective enforcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could just please let the sheriff do his job, we don't need.
Corrupta.
Please just remain in your seats.
Corrupta.
Okay. Thank you. So now continuing, and like I was reiterating, in conjunction with the Neighborhood Watch program, that has allowed our residents confidence in reporting crime, in engaging in our community, and engaging in our civil society.
They're totally lying.
And I believe that there's no such thing, as I've said before, there's no such thing as an illegal human.
Yes, there is.
We are all humans. We all deserve to live free of fear. This is how we were able to make the 76th safest city in 2015.
It was 45.
And just recently, we were ranked top 50th safest city in California for 2016. The top 50th safest city. This happens because our residents feel confident that we are protecting their rights, that they're not going to get persecuted based on their status, either they're documented or undocumented. So I want to thank actually the sheriffs and also Milagro for exemplifying and also making sure that our points are made across, because we have to also avoid and mitigate how our images look based on some of these protesters that not just threaten with words, but threaten with weapons. These are my colleagues' supporters. There's no going around it. He can throw shame our way, but he knows that he's the one that should be shamed. So with that, I'm concluding my comments. So there's a motion and a second. Councilmember Guerrero?
Respectfully, I'm going to vote in opposition to this motion. So that's enough.
Councilmember Markovich?
Yes.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Affirmative.
As they go picking on me again.
Yes. So the motion passes.
That was weak.
And now moving on to section 6, adjournment. Do I hear a motion? Second, for opinion.
Wow, look at him go. I do have one question. Who was supposed to pay for Chris Garcia to call in here from Mexico? How was that supposed to be paid for? And why was a law-abiding citizen arrested for exercising his Second Amendment rights? You are opening yourself up to some severe liability right there. That was a retired parole officer who was surrounded by your goons who were attacking citizens. That is outrageous. So I ask you again, are you prepared for that liability for arresting a citizen who is exercising his Second Amendment rights, protecting himself from your and specifically Chris Garcia's goons? You are trying to blind the residents of this city, hiding behind your corrupt attempt to claim sanctuary. How can you say that this is a sanctuary city when citizens are attacked, when they can't even walk down the street safely, and then they are hounded by 20 sheriff's deputies? And who's paying for those deputies, by the way? Because in this city chambers, I'm seeing 6 sheriff's deputies protecting 6 people. Okay. Absolutely. So, well then tell me, Mr. Sanchez, why do you think that it's okay to have 20 sheriff's deputies going after law-abiding citizens? Are you prepared for that liability? And this lady is part of this corrupt cabal. Where is Chris Garcia? And why is it that he thinks, why? Okay, I'm allowed to ask questions because you're an elected official and you have a responsibility to the residents of the city. My tax dollars pay into this county, and I'm seeing you waste them on 6 sheriff's deputies. So why is that? So tell me, and explain again why you had allowed 20 sheriff's deputies to harass citizens. Okay, I want you to look at me right now, Sanchez. You're the one who has voted to continue this mad appropriation while you are wasting funds that belong to this city. You and your corrupto colleagues who are the ones who are stealing from this city. And you guys are not even going to be able to. So tell me, what would you like to tell the residents of this community when you are going to put at risk their funding? What will you do when that utility users tax is repealed because you are ripping them off and forcing them to pay for your corruption, forcing them to pay for the pay-for-play? Chris Garcia, what is he doing in Mexico?
Why are you going to stop here?
Okay, why do I have to stop here?
Staff parking.
This is staff parking only? Okay. And you're a staffer in what sense?
Code enforcement, sir.
You're a code enforcer. Aren't you supposed to be enforcing like the parking codes? So you're the one who's issuing the tickets that are overtaxing people that they voted for. I'm allowed to be here. This is a public forum. Excuse me. This is public, isn't it? I gotta go? Okay. All right. So you asked and I complied. That's fine. Who should I speak to though? Because I believe that 25-year retiree parole officer should not have been charged with a crime. Who do I speak to about that? Where is Lieutenant Arellano? I saw him here earlier. Is he someone that I could speak to? This gentleman took out a firearm because he was surrounded by brown supremacist thugs that were sicked on them by this corrupt council. Who do I speak to regarding this matter? Okay, everybody in the city of Cudahy should recognize that this code enforcement officer was in a city council meeting rather than enforcing the codes here in the city of Cudahy. Now, what is going on here? And how much does he get paid sitting in a city council meeting? I wonder what Chris Garcia would like to explain to the taxpayers in this city. So, if you're a code enforcement officer, then what were you doing in a city council meeting? I don't see what codes had to be enforced right there. Okay, this is a legitimate question to one of the sheriff's deputies. Who do I speak to get an answer why a law-abiding citizen was arrested for exercising his Second Amendment rights? Chris Garcia sent those thugs. Who should I speak to? I do need an answer for this. Do you have a press agent I speak to, or who? Okay, just call the Maywood. Okay, so is that downtown LA or the East LA one?
That's downtown LA.
Okay, I have to call them. And who's the press agent who's responsible for this?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Call our headquarters bureau. And
okay. If I want to file a formal complaint, who do I file that with? Because this man was just exercising his Second Amendment rights against thugs sent by Chris Garcia and fomented by his colleagues. Who do I speak to?
No, Mr. Schaper, I've already told you that we're not going to have any discussion.
Okay, so, but I mean regarding a complaint, I don't know that answer.
Call our watchman if you like.
Okay, that's Arellano, correct?
The station watchman.
It'll change from day to day, is that correct? Because what I saw was a humiliating display for the sheriff's department. 20 police officers going after 5 civilians. I don't know how Mr. McDonald will feel about that. Very interesting. So everybody in the city of Cudahy, you should be aware that the code enforcement officer was sitting in a city council meeting. What codes was he enforcing? I'm kind of confused. Okay, so just so everybody can see here, as soon as you start to ask something pressing, they walk away. We had 6 sheriff's deputies here. There were 6 sheriff's deputies in the city of Cudahy for a special meeting that took place at 5:45 in the afternoon, and I was not afraid to start asking questions to the sheriff's department. Why is it that they had 20 people surrounding a vehicle in which one of the drivers felt threatened? Okay, they took down all the cones and the tags. Everybody saw that. Okay. Is there anybody who's a resident here that I could speak to for a sec? I'm just trying to find out. Did you know that a code enforcer was in this building?
A code enforcer?
I don't know why he would be in this building because...
I believe he was.
Isn't he supposed to be checking the streets?
Yeah, doing his job outside in the streets. Yes.
I don't know why he's in there. I don't understand that.
Why, but I think I saw him and he was there, and yeah, he's supposed to be supervising.
Am I wrong to be upset about that? I think that's a little strange.
I think you have a point right there. He was there.
Okay.
Basically, we saw him.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
And the statement Hernandez and the other guy Baru said that there was like a 4 million and something left. That's incorrect. It was like 8 million plus.
Okay, so they're lying to the public?
I think Hernandez said it. Oh, they left like 4 million.
Okay.
Hernandez is lying too. He's a liar.
Okay.
He's a liar.
I think that sounds like a public integrity issue. You should get in touch with the DA's office about that.
They have no integrity and they are lying to the community.
Wow.
And that is correct.
Tell me, I heard a number. There's only 500,000 left in the reserves?
That's approximately correct, yeah. Yeah.
You can't run a study on 500 grand.
They are spending our tax dollars incorrectly, too fast, too quick, and we don't trust them.
Yeah.
We don't trust those 4 city council members.
Okay.
Starting with Mr. Garcia, Mr. Hernandez,
Oh.
Mr. Markovich.
What do you think of Garcia being in Mexico at a $500 a night?
Tax dollars. He's wasting our tax dollars.
$500 a night.
Yeah. Simple. And they kept saying to us that we don't have, the city has no funds. There's no money for the sports. There's no money for the elderly, but there's money for his trips.
Unbelievable. Wow, this sucks. So everybody, you need to see what's happening here in Cudahy. They bring those brown supremacists to raise hell. I don't see them here today. It looks like they really don't care about the city. They just want drama. It's really weird. But I thank everybody for their prayers. As you can see, I have people watching out for me, but I can't tell you who they are. I had to make sure that nobody can tell. It keeps them off guard. So here we are in the city of Cudahy. Just a reminder that there is massive corruption. I went after Baru Sanchez. I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish, but you'll see he was, oh, I'm harassed. Oh, I'm being followed. It's called accountability. And we have residents here that showed up, but they're still not getting answers. It's unbelievable. All right, so this is me for now. They need to either get their act together. I don't know. They should all be arrested.